The climate change is the most challenging environmental problem of our times. The pattern of development followed since the age of industrialization has caused havoc to the global environment. The UN Framework Convention on Climate Change is spearheading its effort to tackle the challenge of climate change. During its 21st Conference of Parties in Paris on 30th November 2015, International Solar Alliance was launched by Prime Minister of India Mr. Narendra Modi and the then President of France Mr. Francois Hollande in presence of the then UN Secretary General Mr. Ban Ki-moon and the head of 120 nations, who consented their participation in the alliance to dedicate efforts for promotion of solar energy. The ISA was conceived as a coalition of solar resource-rich countries which lie either completely or partly between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. This platform is for cooperation among the solar resource-rich countries to achieve the common goal of increasing the use and quality of solar energy in meeting energy needs of its member countries in a safe, convenient, affordable, equitable, and sustainable manner. There is around 122 countries which fall in this zone are seen as prospective member countries. 86 countries are already member of ISA. Now let's see the rationale or the technicalities why the countries which fall in tropical zone is chosen as its member countries. The earth receives all its energy from the sun. It radiates heat energy into space, which is known as solar radiation. But our earth receives a very small percentage of solar radiation, which is 1 in 2 billion parts. Insolation is the short form of incoming solar radiation. Solar radiation received on the earth is not same everywhere, rather it varies from place to place. It is maximum at the equator and minimum at the poles. Factors that influence distribution of insolation. Number 1. Inclination of sun's rays. It affects insolation in two ways. Number 1. Area. Vertical rays which have to hit less area than the inclined rays, so the heat per unit area provided by the vertical rays is more than the inclined rays. See the figure. A, B, C are the three equal beams of sun's rays parallel to one another, but the inclination is different at different places due to spherical shape of the earth. Beam A falls on the equator and is perpendicular to the surface of the earth, so the intensity of solar radiation is more here, followed by B, then C. Thickness of the atmosphere is also important. From figure it is clear that beam A has to pass through smaller thickness of atmosphere than B and C. The larger the thickness of the atmosphere, greater the amount of scattering, reflection and absorption by the atmosphere, which reduces the intensity of insolation at the Earth's surface. Length of the day and duration of sunshine is also important, as we receive insolation only during daytime when the sun is shining. The duration of day remains same throughout the year at the equator, and the amount of insolation received is also same. Other important factor is also effect of atmosphere on insolation. The amount of solar radiation reaching the Earth's surface also depends on the atmospheric conditions. Slope of land, distance of the Earth from the sun also matters. However, insolation has different impact on land and water. Depending upon the variation in insolation, temperature varies because insolation is the cause and temperature is the effect. Temperature gradually decreases as we move from equator towards the poles. Based on this fact, the ancient Greeks divided the entire globe into three temperature zones. The zone within tropics, that is 23.5 degree north and 23.5 degree south, is called tropical or torrid zone. In this zone, the sun's rays are almost vertical and the temperature remains high throughout the year, and there is practically no winter season. Tropic of Cancer divides India into almost two equal halves and it crosses 8 states. In southern India, difference in temperature between summer and winter season is pretty less as it is closer to equator than northern India, where difference in temperature between summer and winter is very high. Member countries include mostly from Africa, Southeast Asia and Europe. Recent amendment of International Solar Alliance Framework Agreement will now allow all the member states of the United Nations to join ISA, including those beyond the tropics. The International Solar Alliance is headquartered in Gurgaon, India. Please visit isolaralliance.org to know more. The call for One Sun, One World, One Grid was first given by Prime Minister of India in the first assembly of International Solar Alliance in October 2018. He said, "We have a dream called the One World, One Sun, One Grid. We can generate round-the-clock electricity from the sun as it sets in one part of the world but rises in another part. The sun never sets for the entire earth." His pretty much ambitious mega solar plan is actually a transnational electricity grid supplying solar power across the globe. In June this year, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy came out with a request for proposal to hire consultant for converting this idea into policy. Several policy experts cited it as a part of India's answer to China's One Belt One Road infrastructure initiative. Several countries, including China, have initiated infrastructure projects in other countries, which is seen as a sign of asserting supremacy by several policy experts. While India is a partner nation with most trade associations, with ISA and OSOWOG initiative, it is planning to take a leadership position. It is actually a baby step towards the direction. It will be interesting to see a practical outline of this plan or policy and how the government intends to go about the actual execution. Thank you.